Lee. So I saw this it was a graphic that I saw when I was online, just searching around, looking at stuff. This graphic pops up on my timeline. So, this graphic here is the top 10 receiver duos in the NFL. They're saying for 2025, 2024, 2025, this is what the top duos and what this person feels, is the top duos in the NFL. So, so we're looking at this right now,
Yeah.
right? I'm not gonna let my bias shine through on this, because I could be biased anyway. So at let's and I want to also talk, as we looking, kind of talk about if they kind of missed anybody on this list.
Okay.
So number one, they got Jamar Chase.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Start from 10. Okay, let's start from 10. Okay, so you got Drake London and Mooney from the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Right.
Now, I don't know how I feel about this because even though I don't, I know Drake London, he pretty much he had a good game against the Eagles in the first game of the season when we played the Falcons.
Right.
I mean, in overtime, he put a move on Slay that pretty much almost breaks Slay ankles, and they won the game. And that was like, I was expecting this guy to be like, man, this dude is going to be legit. Like, I mean, he is. Don't get me wrong, he's a solid receiver, really solid receiver. I don't know that much about Mooney, from the Falcons. I mean, I've seen him play. Okay. I don't even know if they belong on the top 10. Yeah.
But Mooney, I believe he came from the Bears. He spent some time
Okay.
with the Bears, went to the Falcons. He's talented.
Yeah.
He is talented. I think
He's talented.
there's a little bit of him being underrated. He's fast, quick, decent route runner. His issue was his hands,
Mm,
and not on a consistent basis, but in crucial certain circumstances.
right.
Back in the day, he would not come through. He would drop. He'd have some drops, opportune drops. But the skill set is there. Drake London he's a specimen, man. That dude is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
he's 6'4", 200 plus pounds,
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
great route runner, good hands. He's your prototypical number one, type 1A, wide receiver. So I think from him, just him alone, probably carries both of them into this top 10.
That's kind of what I was saying. But if you know, I'm looking at this as a duo. I don't know that they make this list. I think London, you got it right. I think, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, London, like you said, London is the he's carrying he definitely is carrying the duo on
He's
this.
he's the catalyst.
Yeah. So okay. So now, okay, we know Deebo Samuel is traded over to the Commanders, and you got Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, right? Okay. All right. For one, Deebo, they might could be here. They might could be at number 9. Okay, because all right, Deebo isn't the Deebo of old, right? When and I know you got something to say about this because they was in your division, but he was in your division. But this is me looking in, okay, not being in your division. We played Deebo, and this dude was just a beast for me because he was, when he coming. I mean, he's so hard to tackle, just hard to tackle, low body, and I mean, he just, I don't know. And to me, he doesn't even look fast, but he's fast. For the size that he is, he doesn't even look that fast, but he's fast. And then trying to bring him down, I remember when Eagles was playing him, and I was like, oh my gosh, this dude is just, I mean, he's like one of those Swiss Army knife guys that could really catch the ball from anywhere, put him in motion, just hand him the ball off on a handoff, and he's gonna pick up yards. Now, over the last couple of years, I don't think he's been as consistent. Injuries, things going on, maybe front office kind of things, and just hadn't got there. Him coming over in a new system, I don't know. That remains to be seen. I know they're going to move him all over the field, and Zach Ertz was their third down go-to person. I think that moves now to Deebo, as their third down go-to person. We got to get this first down kind of thing. And then real quick, Terry McLaurin. Terry's legit. I mean, he's legit. I like Terry McLaurin. I like him. I like him as an individual. Like him as a receiver. And I could looking at these two. Terry is a good deep threat guy, but I can. This is one that I could agree on. I could put the Commanders with this coming into the season without seeing them together already. I could put them at number 9.
Yeah. And I mean, we have to, the disclaimer here is these are all projected, right?
Right. Right.
So I agree. I think they make the list. McLaurin is another receiver who I think is highly more underrated than Mooney.
Yeah.
McLaurin is a legit number one. He doesn't have the prototypical size that you would constitute with a number one wide receiver, but his skill set, his production. I mean, think about it. Last year was the first time he had an all-pro, Pro Bowl quarterback in his entire career.
That is true. Yeah.
So, and you see what he's done when he had that caliber of quarterback on the team. He
Mhm.
produced. Deebo, I've seen a lot of him, being a Ram fan, played him a lot.
Yeah.
Glad he's out of the division.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he is older.
Yeah.
One would say he probably has lost maybe half of a step, not a full step, but maybe half a step.
Yeah.
His speed is deceiving, deceptive.
Very.
The thing about Deebo is the after contact yards.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't get him down. He's built like a running back. He runs like a running back.
Yeah.
With the wide receiver skill set. Anytime he touched the ball, you're just praying to God that he trips or somebody
Yeah.
string tackles him or something, because when you try to, especially when he gets into that second level of the defense, it's hard for the DBs to get him down.
I agree. I
So
agree.
I could see if he's a healthy Deebo,
Yeah.
I could see this duo being in the list.
Yeah. 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 Definitely see that. All right. So number 8, we got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. All right. All right. Jalen Waddle came into the league, man. Just I think he was making a splash. And but I don't know. I'm not sold on. I'm not sold on Jalen Waddle. I'm just to be honest. I'm not sold on him. He came in. You thinking he was going to really make something. And don't get me wrong. He's a good receiver. Got good hands. I don't know. As a duo right now, I think he's. I think Tyreek Hill again on this one is kind of carrying the two. Tyreek is just. I mean, Tyreek is Tyreek, right? I mean, the dude is just fast. He could get open. But here's something. Is the quarterback play hindering this duo? That's something that I'm interested, because it looks like to me, I don't watch that many Dolphins games, but to me, and this might be something where a Dolphin fan could comment on this, if they see this segment, but Tyreek is pretty much the go-to, and it feels to me that Tua is kind of, when you have a Tyreek on your team, you feel like you got to get him the ball like all the time. And like all the balls go to Tyreek, because Tyreek again is one of those players that when he touched the ball, it could be a game breaking kind of play. That's the kind of player he is. I'm not sold on Jalen Waddle, man. It's just not for me. It's kind of mid. That's what the kids saying nowadays. He kind of mid for me. I don't. The name is there. Don't get me wrong, but on the field, it just hadn't translated. That's just my opinion.
I think Jalen Waddle. What's that? Yeah, thanks. So with Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
I think this duo should be on the list.
Okay. Okay.
They should probably be 10. You take out Drake London and Mooney, and you can put
them at 10.
them somewhere at 10 and 9.
Yeah.
However, they definitely should be on the list.
Yeah.
You got to think, and you hit the nail on the head in terms of the quarterback play.
Yeah.
I think Tua inhibits both of these receivers from maximizing their full potential. And that's hard to say. Even, I mean, that's unfathomable when you think about the production that Hill has had since he's
Right.
been
Yeah.
right. But you think about what Hill was doing when he had Mahomes.
Right. Yeah.
You don't see nearly as much as those splash plays
Yeah.
as as he's had with Miami. And even though he does have a high amount of big plays with Tua,
Right.
you can tell that some of the balls, the adjustments that he's had to make, the extra effort he's had to put in just to make the play happen. Imagine if the ball could just be put out
Just drop right in there. Yeah. Yeah.
just another yard or two so he can
Right.
fall under it and keep going and walk, running in stride. But that being said, Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
you look at some of his numbers since he came into the league. His first year there, he had over 100 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, over 100 receptions.
Okay, receptions. Yeah, got you.
100 receptions, over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
His second year, only 75 receptions, but 1,300, right, receiving yards.
Yeah.
His third year, he had another 1,000-yard receiving year. Last year, you could say was it was a down year for him, but I think there was a mixture of him being hurt, and then there was a lot of flux with the quarterback position with Tua getting hurt, and then they're juggling and trying to find some consistency at the quarterback play.
Yeah.
So I think Waddle is a guy where he could go somewhere else if he's healthy, and he could possibly be a number one guy. He's fast.
Right. Yeah.
He's really fast, and he has a really good skill set.
Yeah.
I just think that because of the lack of arm strength that they got, pulling the trigger, the two of them they have to make a lot with nothing, right?
Yeah.
With a little. I won't say nothing, but they got to do
a
it.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I really think, and your point on this, I really think if the quarterback play was different, then this duo might be a little bit more. They not only make the list, but could be a little bit higher on the list.
Yeah.
If the quarterback play was more consistent.
If they had let's say if like a Justin Herbert was playing
Right.
there, it would be
Right. Yeah. That would be legit. All right. So next on the list, we got St. Brown and Jamison Williams from Detroit. I don't think they need to be this high. Number 7. Don't get me wrong. St. Brown is he's a worker, man. You look at his story and his background and where he came from and his dad and how they really he's a beast as a worker. I don't think. Well, let me not even say that. He is a very, very hard worker, man, and the guy willed himself, to get to this point in his career and just outwork everybody. And I think he's one of those guys in the slot. He hadn't gone to the outside. He's a slot receiver, but I think he could be one of the top slot receivers in the league, if not the top slot receiver in the league, because of his work ethic and what he puts into the game. He really takes it seriously. Jamison Williams, speed guy, just one of those speed guys. I think still a little bit inconsistent, a little bit, not as polished just yet, but he could make some plays. I've seen him make some plays, but I don't think he's as consistent as he needs to be. So with that, I think that kind of drops them down from 7. They could be around I might drop them down one slot, 8 or 9. If I was putting them on this list, but St. Brown is obviously the stronger of the two in being in the slot and being just his consistency and work.
Yeah, I don't know why they're on this list.
You don't even think they belong on the list?
No, and it has nothing to do with St. Brown. St. Brown he's legit.
Yeah.
Right. He deserves everything, all the accolades he's gotten, the money that he's gotten. He's a hard worker, like you said.
Yeah.
But Jamison, and as much as Jamison is extremely athletic,
right? Yeah,
boatloads of potential.
Potential.
But when he's been in the league 3 years, 3 seasons, and I think his best production was last year when he had a total of 53 receptions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yes, this is we're speculating, we're projecting for next year.
Yeah.
With the anticipation that if he has a fully healthy season.
Yeah.
Would he be on this list?
Right.
Probably.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't see him. He is yet to do it.
Yeah. I think this is kind of early. It is early.
Right. I need to see at least one season where he's shown some proof of being able to be available all 16, 17 games, 16 games, and 17 games, and play at a
Right.
high level,
Yeah.
right, throughout the duration of the season. Once he can show me that, because all of the other receivers, even with the Mooney and with guys like him, he plays, he's there, he's
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have something that I can pull from a litmus perspective and say, okay, this is what he's done in the past, and this is what I can project him to do in the future. Again, yes, Jamison has had some splash plays. Yes, he looks highly athletic, but I just haven't seen. I've not seen him do it consistently. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
on this list.
Yeah. I say yeah. Because you hit it on the head, man. You hit it on the head with that one. All right, moving up to number 6. We got DK Metcalf, Pickens. All right. Okay. DK, we talked about this a little bit. DK is a hothead, right? He could easily be taken out of his game. Pickens is a hothead.
Yeah,
Could easily be taken out of his game.
yeah,
Good receivers, when DK is on, he could be on. When Pickens is on, he could be on. But at number 6, no. No. That's too, in my opinion, that is too high. It's too high.
Would you put any of the tandems that we just discussed above them?
Above them, I would put, based on speculation right now, that these guys hadn't played together, but I think McLaurin and Deebo would be better. I think McLaurin and Deebo would be better. So, but no. Because DK, look, as a receiver, I mean, you're going to get into it, right? I mean, all the greats have gotten into it. Jerry Rice got into it. All the greats have gotten into it. Look at the battles with Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders going back, years and years, and they getting into it. However, it comes to a point when you got to be available for your team.
Yeah,
And if you're not available for your team as a receiver mentally, then you out of the game and you can't really be consistent. And now they don't even know who's going to be throwing them the ball.
yeah,
So I don't know. So for right now, speaking in speculation, for potential, they could probably be great for potential, but that's yet to be seen. I don't know. We've seen Pickens. Pickens is a solid receiver when he's available. But again, a hothead, man. So I really can't say right now, because they hadn't played together, what that's going to look like. Potential wise, they have the ability to be a good duo, but they got to get their mind right. Mentally, they got to get their mind right, and it also depends on who's going to be throwing them the.
yeah. That's the contingency right there. Who's going to be pulling the trigger, right? But just looking at it in the vacuum, just the receivers,
Yeah,
they should be on the list. Yes,
yeah,
6 too high. That could be debatable. Anywhere from 8, right? Maybe 7, 8, 9.
yeah.
But I'm having a hard time trying to find someone or another tandem, especially the ones that we picked that I would put ahead of them.
Ahead of them. Yeah,
Right? DK Metcalf, he's a specimen. We all know that. I mean, he checks all the boxes when it comes to the athletic portion of the position. George Pickens, similar, not as athletic, but is extremely talented. Knows how to make the contested catches. He makes the hard catches look easy,
yeah, yeah,
right? So he's a pretty decent route runner as well. But just like with DK Metcalf, you can see that he has a little bit of a psychological problem where you can easily get him off of his game.
yeah.
That's the part where that keeps them in the lower tier of the top 10 for me. The fact that you mentioned Jerry Rice
Mm-hmm.
and him getting into it, but he's getting into it with another Hall of Fame caliber player,
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
getting into it with Deion Sanders.
Right.
Like
Right. Right. Yes.
you don't see Jerry Rice getting into it with a scrub.
Right. A scrub. Exactly.
Right? Some other he just goes by him and catches a touchdown. Like
That's right.
that's what he does.
That's
Right?
enough. Yeah. That's enough.
These guys, they get into it with anyone, right?
Anybody.
It don't matter who it is.
Yeah.
It could be the third string guy they getting into it with. It don't make no sense. So
Right.
part where I'm like, at some point you gotta have a little bit, you have to be a little bit more strategic, man. You gotta
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you have a little bit more what you call mental fortitude to see past that stuff and be like, look, there's a bigger picture here. My team needs me.
Yes.
I know this guy. Don't let the Cortland Finnegans get in your head.
I know. Right.
Don't,
Yeah,
don't
man.
do it.
Don't
Don't do
do
it.
it, man. No.
Right?
No.
Anyone who don't know who Cortland Finnegan is, look him up.
Look at
Right? Don't let those guys get. Don't do it.
That's
Right?
right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
with six, I think six is an okay spot for them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So moving to number five, we got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is a beast, man. Mike Evans is a beast. Very underrated, by the way. A lot of people don't really, when you talk about top receivers, people don't put Mike Evans. Mike Evans' name doesn't come out like boom, come out. But if you talk to any DBs in the league, they will tell you Mike Evans, man, is one of the top receivers. The dude is just, I mean, his hands, just the ability to get open, how big he is, tall, have the space, quick, for how tall he is. Yeah, I definitely, they belong on the list. Chris Godwin, a speed guy, can get open, and I mean, could blow by you and get open, or he could run, slant routes, picking them up. The tandem is a solid tandem. I would have put them. Uh, I mean, they're in a good spot, 5, 6. I would keep them right there. But Mike Evans is a beast, man. Mike Evans is just, I can't speak highly enough for him. I've watched him all these years, and for him to still be playing at a high level where he's playing with different receivers. You see what he did with Brady. I mean, and now Baker Mayfield. I can't really hate on these guys.
I have no disagreement with it. I think that this is the perfect spot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everything you just said, their history speaks for itself. I think they have another really good year in them to be highly productive, both of them.
hmm
Five is the right spot for them.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, all right. So moving on, we got Justin Jefferson and Addison. Woo! Hey, boy. All right.
I thought this would be higher, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
Justin Jefferson is one of the best receivers in the league. I mean, just hands down. I mean, it is what it is. Boy, yeah, he needs. They need to be up. They need to be up. They need to be up. Addison. Man.
Let me hear this. Let me hear this.
No, 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 no. Look, Addison is a solid. He's solid. He's solid. I mean, I can't really hate on him. He's solid. He's solid. I mean, he like you said, where some of these guys aren't available, he's available. He gets open in spaces. But again, if it were me on this, I would have to split this duo apart, man, because I mean, I would put Justin Jefferson up and drop Addison down because Justin Jefferson is carrying the load. I mean, the dude is he's an animal. He could get open anywhere. Not many DBs could lock him down. He's always going against the number one DB. He's just one of them guys he on this one he's carrying it. Mm, I might put them up to three. I might put them up to three. Addison is again for me, and this just me talking now. This me, right? Right? This me. Yeah, it don't he don't light it up for me, but again, that's just me.
So we're gonna come back to this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you said they sitting at 4.
They sitting at four.
You would put them up to 3,
I
right?
put them up to three. Yeah,
When we finish with the rest of this list, I want to know who you're gonna move out of that top 3 and put them to 4. I already know your answer, but we can see, right? But no, Addison, Justin Jefferson speaks for himself.
yeah, yeah,
He is the top wide receiver in the league, right? One could say debatably, right? But if it's not him, it's Jamar Chase, and you can debate between the two, but there's no one above those two right now in the league.
right, 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 right.
No one.
Yeah,
So he's 1A or 1B, whatever your preference is, whatever team you pull for, whatever hate you may have in your heart about whatever franchise that they play for, whatever.
yeah,
But he is one of the top, if not the top,
yeah,
wide receiver in the league.
yeah, yeah,
He just completed a second season.
yeah.
I used to watch him when he was playing in USC. He's one of those guys where highly skilled
Mm,
with the deep ball.
yeah.
He knows how to track the ball. Like he reminds me of Deshaun Watson.
Mm, okay.
Deshaun Watson, that slender, smaller type of receiver with all the speed, and you
I mean,
like this.
Deshaun Jackson,
Sorry, what did I say?
Watson,
Deshaun
Jackson.
Jackson. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Deshaun Jackson, right? So Deshaun Jackson, again, smaller receiver.
yeah.
No one ever thought he would have the longevity that he had. right? But he stood the test of time, was able to be as durable as he was, and as consistent as he was. Addison is the same way.
Yeah.
Smaller type of receiver, underrated in terms of, you don't think he's going to be as durable as he is, but he, and make the plays that he's going to make on a consistent basis, but he does.
Yeah.
When that ball is in the air,
Yeah.
he has this ability, and I've watched him do this
Yeah.
time and time again,
Right.
where he has bigger defenders on him, but somehow he's the one that comes down with the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how he does it,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those knacks that certain players have where they just know how to be at the right place at the right time. And
Yeah.
he does that. There were games also where Justin Jefferson wasn't available and Jordan Addison ended up being the primary receiver, and you would think, they're gonna snuff him out of the game. He's the top guy. There's no way he's gonna be able to have those responsibilities and continue to produce.
Right.
But he still does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being said, you look at the quarterback again.
Mm-hmm.
We know Sam Darnold had a hell of a year last year.
Yep. Yep.
He did a good job spreading the ball around. And there was also some reports coming out where Jordan Addison, because Jordan Addison is another one of those receivers who has some diva in him too.
Yeah.
And what was happening was during the course of the season, he didn't feel like he was getting the ball thrown to him as much as he should have. And he even had like people in his camp, his dad specifically, tweeting, putting stuff out there saying, hey, basically calling Sam Darnold trash, or we need to change the quarterback. And I'm like, but y'all winning.
That's right.
Y'all winning. What you talking about, right? So it's one of those situations where, what's your objective here? What are your priorities? Are your priorities all in the right place?
Yeah.
That being said, that aside, just talking about this list.
Yeah.
Do they, is this right in terms of them being number 4? I think so. Number 4 is a good spot. Justin Jefferson definitely carries the load here.
Absolutely.
But Jordan Addison is no slouch. I would take Jordan Addison over Mooney.
Yeah.
I would take Jordan Addison over Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Take Jordan Addison over Jameis Williams. Take Jordan Addison over George Pickens.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Okay. All right. Moving into number 3. We got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, right? All right, man. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and not to be biased here as an Eagles fan. AJ Brown, this dude could go off at any minute. I mean, just give him the ball. Big, strong receiver. Hands are and he's fast. I mean, AJ Brown could catch any ball, anything, right? I really put him up there with Jamar Chase. I put him up there, man. When you talk about AJ Brown, come on, you see what he was doing in Tennessee when he was in Tennessee. He was making quarterbacks look good. Now you come to, and the reason why I think people have him and Devontae Smith at 3 is because it was Saquon Barkley coming to the team, took away from some of the receiving yards that he would have got. And I think they're basing this off of receiving yards. But when you talk about receiver to receiver, pound for pound, AJ Brown is number 1, man. AJ Brown is number 1. I mean, I'm trying not to be biased here. But look, AJ Brown is number 1. And Devontae Smith, they call him the Slim Reaper, man. Mm-hmm. Devontae Smith, this dude is lethal. I don't think there's anybody in the league, this is just me, anybody in the league that can run routes better than Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is like a man. If you watch his routes, these dudes coming up to jam this dude, boom, boom. The dude is open in like a second. I mean, I don't think there's anybody. This duo right here, I think they get injustice done to them because, especially this year with Saquon Barkley. Listen, the previous year when we got knocked out of the first round of the playoffs by Tampa Bay, when you look at it, look at their yards from that season. Both of them were over 1,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
In that season. And these guys, both of them, man, just legitimate. I don't know. People are gonna say I'm biased, but I could take it. I'm good. I don't care what the comments say. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith need to be number one. They need to be number one. No, seriously, seriously. I'm looking at receiver for receiver. We're gonna get to Chase and T Higgins, and we're gonna get to your boys. We're gonna get to y'all. But AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, man, I just can't see, and I think that's an injustice. That's an injustice at number 3. I would definitely move them. If not number 2, boy. If not number 2, they got to be number 1. I just can't. I can't. That's just me. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm biased. That's just me.
We'll talk about reshuffling this when we're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
I could see them being higher. I do agree.
Yeah,
See them being higher than this. I think they are a victim of the team's success,
yeah,
right? Because in order for them to have won the Super Bowl this year,
yeah,
they had to take a step back.
yeah.
They had to let Saquon do what he did,
Mm-hmm.
right? Saquon, you take 800 yards off of Saquon.
Yeah.
He still had 1,200 yards rushing,
Mm-hmm.
and that 800 yards could be dispersed equally among AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't constitute to the team winning.
No, that's right.
And to AJ Brown's credit, not being a disruption or as much of a disruption as one could have been.
Right.
He allowed the team to run through, figuratively and metaphorically, through Saquon Barkley, and it took them all the way to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So in terms of being a tandem, one has to also surmise that Saquon Barkley probably saw less defenders in the box, because you also have to take into account not just for one receiver, but for both of those guys as well.
Yes.
That's why Saquon wasn't able to do what he did with the Giants, because there was no other threats on the field.
That was it. He was it.
So now you have AJ Brown. You could also, one could say, look, Saquon Barkley is not rushing for 2,000 yards if both AJ Brown and J. Smith wasn't on the team.
True. Absolutely.
It wasn't going to happen. So with that being said, is 3 a little bit lower? Yes. I don't know about number 1, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. So we move up to number 2.
Yeah.
You got Puka Nakua and you got Devontae Adams, right?
Let me start.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Start, right? Being a Rams fan, right?
Exactly. Yes.
This surprises me.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to be biased here. This surprises me for them to be that high.
Yeah.
Puka Nakua, I think, is a hell of a player. Everyone knows the story. 5th round pick, comes in playing at an all-pro level, basically took over from Cooper Kupp, took the reins, and he's now the number 1 guy for the Rams. The production shows it. Last year he was a little bit dinged up, but when he comes in, I think his rookie season, he broke all the records for receivers, catches and yards, stuff like that. This year he was on a trajectory to even surpass what he did the previous year, but he entered the league with a knee injury, so that kind of hindered that a little bit. But when he got back in, the Rams would not have gotten to the playoffs if Puka Nakua, wasn't on the field.
Yeah.
Now with the acquisition of Devontae Adams, my God, Devontae Adams, his history speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Devontae Adams still playing at a high caliber level. He's 32, though. He's a little bit older, but he has not shown any sort of drop off in terms of athleticism and productivity.
That's right.
So one could easily see him continuing his level of play going into next season.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I think that's being, I don't know who wrote this article. We probably need to look into that. Who put this? To see if and again, this is coming from a Ram fan. There could be a little bit of bias right there, but
yeah,
I'm not mad at it, and I'm not saying that because I'm a fan. Because at least I can say this. I can say that it is debatable for them, and it could be defensible for them to be in that position.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with you on everything you said. I definitely Puka Nakua. I think I talked to you offline about this when he was a rookie. I say, man, that Puka Nakua he could just get open. He is a dangerous receiver, very dangerous receiver. I respect him 100% for being so young. Just being so young. How many years in the league? What this is what?
That was just his 2nd season.
That's what I'm saying.
Just his 2nd season.
Yeah, so he's going into his 3rd season. So, But for him to be for this person to put them this high on the list, and we'll confirm who wrote this, but to put him this high on this list, man, that's huge. That's huge. So I respect Puka Nakua 100%. I mean, I everything you said about him, he's just a solid receiver. Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams, man. I mean, he's another beast, man. Another animal. Him and Mike Evans, they the same type of receiver, kind of. And man, Devontae Adams is he's been consistent, been solid. He had, like you said, he had a couple injuries. If he can stay injury free and being in there in this offense with Matt Stafford, throwing him the ball, man, it's gonna be it's gonna be, and if he can stay healthy, it's going to be really, really exciting. Again, like I said, as an Eagle fan, playing the Rams in the playoffs was really the only team that I was kind of afraid of. And it showed that in the game as well. So that went down to the wire. So adding Devontae Adams to that mix, along with y'all defense and everything that y'all got going on, and Matthew Stafford throwing the ball, boy, it's going to be interesting. It is going to be very interesting. I'm glad to see this. However, with all that said,
Mhm.
I can't put you at number two, man. I can't put you at number two. I would drop you down to. I would drop you. I would put you at number four. I'd put you at number four.
I wonder why. Keep moving up.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right?
Uh-huh.
That's where I'll put you, man. That's where I'll put you. So anyway. All right. So, and we'll talk about this. But
I'll
anyway,
put it I'll put it like this. Let me ask you this.
yeah.
Jordan Addison or Puka Nakua?
Puka Nakua, man.
Jordan Addison or Devontae Adams?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going with Devontae.
So why we can't be number three?
I got you. I got you. I got you. Look, this remains to be seen.
I don't see like again.
Yes, 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 yes.
Addison he's top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Look at it from a dual standpoint.
Yeah, I got you. You make a good point. You make a good point. You make a good point. I might adjust my numbers a little bit. I might adjust my numbers. So number one, we got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and I mean these fellas speak for themselves, man.
Yeah.
When you talk about a duo, uh they are consummate top receivers consistently year in, year out. Jamar Chase, how long has Jamar been in the league now?
Is this his fourth?
Fourth year in the league. And T. Higgins probably around the same, right? Should be around the
No,
same.
I think he's a year. Yeah, so Jamar Chase, he just completed his
Okay, so just completed his fourth.
fourth year.
Okay, all right.
And with T. Higgins, I think, been in a year longer. That he just did that was his fifth.
That was his fifth. Okay, okay. So these guys, man, as a duo, they're lethal.
Lethal.
Lethal, man. Lethal. I mean, again, I don't watch a lot of Bengals games, but when you look at the receivers, what can you say? What can you say? As a duo, right? Obviously, I would put Chase ahead of Higgins. If it was if it was singular, but as a duo, yeah, these fellas, But again, I'm putting when I anyway, we'll talk about how we're gonna reshuffle this and why. But one or two, one or two, one or two, because we'll get it. We'll get into it in a second. But I respect the number one. I respect number one. I respect number one. But there is a reason why I would put them at number two. There's a reason why. I'll
Okay.
tell you in a second.
Look, I think number one is you can't. It's almost undebatable to
Mm,
me for
mm,
them. I think they deserve to be the number one spot.
yeah.
I don't see another tandem as athletic and like again as a tandem.
Right.
Hold on, let me wait. Let me think about this.
You got to think about this, man.
Let me think about this. All right, let me pause. Let me just. I'm gonna leave it with this, then we can get into the reshuffling. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Number one
Yeah.
is I think that's a good spot.
Right.
That it can be maybe it can be debated, but you have to go through a lot to
Yeah. Yeah.
convince me that they shouldn't be there.
Okay. Okay.
Jamar Chase, Triple Crown winner. You
Yeah.
saw what he did last season.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
T. Higgins, again, he can take over games. He
Yeah.
won games for them as well.
Yeah.
So that being said, look at the skill set, look at the athleticism, look at the production.
Yeah.
Number one spot, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Here's what I'm saying here. I don't know if I'm gonna go all the way down to 10 on this. Maybe
Let's reshuffle the top 5.
top 5. Okay, top 5. Let me all right. So I got at number 5. I'm gonna keep Evans and Godwin right there.
Yep.
Evans
Same.
and Godwin. Okay.
Same. Yep.
They I keep them at number 5. All right. Number 4. This you brought up a good point. You brought up a good point. When you talk about Puka Nakua and Addison and Devontae Adams and Addison, Justin Jefferson speaks for itself. And we're talking about duos here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make that switch. I will say number 4, we're gonna leave them there. We're gonna leave Justin Jefferson and Addison at number 4. You brought up a very, very valid point. Very valid. I think you put them there. I was gonna drop them down to number 4. I was really gonna drop Nakua and Adams down to number 4. But anyway, we'll leave it as is right now. Then I'm gonna go with Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams at number 3. Puka Nakua, I'm gonna drop them down to number 3. And here's where the debate is with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Check this out. Here's my reasoning. Here's the debate. I would take Devontae Smith over T. Higgins any day.
Okay.
I would take Devontae Smith over T. Higgins, man. Because look, Devontae Smith is so underrated as a receiver. Very underrated. He could be a number 1 receiver on his team all by himself. And actually, before A.J. Brown was there, it was Devontae Smith that was leading the Eagles. And this dude was eating people up as a number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
And I think he gets overlooked because A.J. is on the team, right? And A.J. gets majority of the balls. But Devontae Smith is a number 1 receiver. He can be number 1 all by himself. Let me tell you, if I'm looking at, I'm taking A.J. Brown out of the picture. And I'm just looking at individuals, even between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, right? As number 1, Puka Nakua, right? Mike Evans. You're looking at all of these number 1 receivers, right? A lot of these guys. If Devontae Smith was by himself, I was putting Devontae Smith up there with these guys. He's right there with Jamar Chase. And I know with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, if it's a 1A, 1B, 1C, Devontae Smith got to be there, man. I'm telling you, Devontae. A lot of people, look, I'm telling you, man, he is very, very underrated. Right now, I am taking Devontae Smith over T. Higgins. I'm taking him all day. Jamar Chase and A.J. Brown, okay, they right there. They right there. But Devontae Smith got this on T. Higgins. So with that being said, I'm dropping Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to number 2. And I'm going to put A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at number 1. Because of that slight edge that Devontae Smith, and this is where we gotta look at this. If you put Devontae Smith on a team by himself, which he was, Eagles, he was the number 1 receiver. And this, I can't remember, he was way over 1,000 yards that when A.J. Brown was in there. He took a big drop off when A.J. Brown came, taking a backseat to A.J. Brown. But this guy is a number 1, bona fide, legit number 1 receiver all time. So that's how I reshuffle it, man. Number 5, Evans and Brown. Number 4, Justin Jefferson and Addison. Number 3, I'm going Nakua and Adams. Number 2, Chase and Higgins, and number 1, Brown and Smith.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me bring the unbiased approach to this, right?
Like saying I'm biased, but I don't even think I'm being.
You being biased.
Come on,
you being biased. You being biased. Come on. Come on.
No, man.
No, yes.
Yeah, explain this to me. Explain this.
Okay, number 5, yes. Number 5, you're going to keep that as Evans and Godwin, right?
Okay.
Number 4,
Yeah.
keep that the same.
Okay.
Justin and Jordan, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I would say you're right. I think Nakua and Adams should be number 3.
Okay. Okay.
I have no problems with that.
Yeah.
Brown and Smith should be number 2. There's no way
Yeah.
they should be number 1 over Chase and Higgins. And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why.
Tell me. Tell me.
Let's talk about the 2 primaries first, right? We're talking about AJ Brown and Jamar Chase.
Right.
We talk about how close they are. You mean to tell me you're a GM
Mm-hmm.
and you're starting your team, and they said, look, you start with wide receiver,
Mm-hmm.
slate. Who's the first wide receiver you're going to pick to put on your team? Are you picking AJ Brown over Jamar Chase?
Actually, I would pick Justin Jefferson.
Understood. But we're talking about those 2, right? I agree.
Those, out of
I agree.
those 2,
Right.
boy, it's close. It's really, really, really close.
How is it close? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, right? Now, I'm not saying that AJ Brown isn't as athletic
Right.
Jamar Chase, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not debating his athleticism, his his catch radius and all that. Like, I'm talking about I need a guy that
Yeah.
can come in,
Yeah.
depend on him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When the chips are down, when the situation gets volatile,
Yes.
he keep a clear head. He will
Yeah.
continue to produce.
Yeah. 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 I think AJ Brown and Jamar Chase is the same guy. AJ Brown and Jamar Chase is the same guy. Both of these guys. Now, I wouldn't say AJ Brown is a little misunderstood when it comes to a diva personality, like kind of a diva. He wants the ball. Don't get me wrong. This dude is competitive, just like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase wants the ball. Get me the ball, dude. Just throw it up and I'm going to get it. I don't care where you throw it. Just throw it and I'm getting it. AJ Brown is that same guy. Really, these dudes, you could go with either or. I don't know. I don't know if I could put one over the other. You could go with either or when you look at Jamar Chase or AJ Brown, because both of them got great hands, big, fast receivers. These dudes, you could start a franchise with either one of these guys, man.
I'm not saying that you can't.
Right.
I know you can start a franchise with AJ Brown, but I'm not picking AJ Brown over Jamar Chase. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so why? Why would you not pick AJ Brown over Jamar Chase? Is it because who's throwing him the ball?
No, I don't trust AJ Brown as much as I would trust Jamar Chase.
So you think do you think that the trust that you have, you think it's something, it's a mental thing, or so you think he shuts down?
No, I'm not going to say that he shuts down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That'll be insulting. No, I'm not saying that he'll shut and he's going to shut down. And trust me, I'm not saying that AJ Brown falls off of a cliff.
Right.
Things get tough.
I
I'm
hear
not saying that at all, right? We're talking about margins here. The margins are slim.
Yeah.
But when it comes to crucial time parts of the game, that slim margin, that constitutes whether you're going to win the game or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I need my wide receiver to have his head in the game and be focused 24, like all 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't need when you're not getting the ball, right?
Yeah.
You pouting or you being even somewhat disruptive on the side. He has shown a history of that. Last year, no, right? He was well behaved last year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. And one could say from a locker room, especially when you have a situation where you have somebody, you have a free agent coming in, and he basically takes over, right? Being the leader in the locker room in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Because you weren't the leader.
Right. True.
Okay.
Yeah, you could say
so
that.
Saquon Barkley comes in, he sets the tone, gets everybody even keel. Remember now, this season, it looked like it was starting to fall off the rails again.
Yes.
And then boom, Saquon Barkley, he ramped it up.
Yeah.
He saved the season.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I can't, like, if I'm starting a franchise and I'm picking my top primary wide receiver.
Yeah.
If AJ Brown and Jamar Chase are available, I'm picking Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I got you.
Not to say that I can't start a franchise with AJ Brown.
Right.
I know when I have him, I
Yeah.
need to find somebody else to come in to be a leader in that locker room because AJ Brown is not going to be that guy.
Yeah. I that's debatable. I think that's debatable because I think the media portrays AJ Brown as this disruptor. And the reason why is because he is very passionate, just like any receiver. I mean, you don't give the ball to Justin Jefferson. If you don't get the ball to Jamar Chase, he gonna get pissed. Any one of these guys on the list, you don't give them the ball, and really their mindset, they gotta be that type of person. They gotta be like, I'm the best, man. Just give me the ball.
So help me understand this. Then why does AJ Brown get singled out over those two guys?
I think the reason why he gets singled out is because him and Jalen, they're like best friends, right? And sometimes best friends have you'll have a little spat. You could go and you could say, oh man, you have that, and that's what he's showing, and they catching that on camera and they catching that on TV, and they automatically think this is like another To kind of situation, right? To and McNabb kind of situation. It's not like that. These guys are at the point where I could get pissed with you, but at the end of the day, we know we boys, we friends. It's all good. You're gonna get the ball, and I think he gets singled out because of the relationship he has with Jalen, and also I've seen it now. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it to where he's running the perfect route, and he's been open for like 2 seconds, like got the guy like in a gap, and Jalen gets him the ball late when the guy is like right there on him, and yeah, I would get frustrated too. I'd be like, bro, get me the ball when I'm open, man. Like, I mean, look, I'm open for like 2 seconds. Get me the ball when I'm open, and then I could get up the field. We could score some touchdowns. If you go and you look at the play, it was a crossing route in the Super Bowl where AJ scored that touchdown and he, went in. He was open way before that. Jalen didn't see him. He was open, and I was like, Jalen, give him the ball. And I think that's the kind of situations where he gets frustrated because he know him and Jalen work out consistently all the time. They at each other's house, they best friends, da 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 da. However, when it in the game, his emotions run high because he's like, dude, we've been practicing this, and that's what people see, and they think the dude is a diva. But I think it's just a relationship that him and Jalen have where it's like he want Jalen to get in the ball, and Jalen is like, dude, chill, relax. And so I think that's what brings it out in the media for people to really see and judge him on that.
Okay,
But I,
well,
but I hear you. I hear you.
that's debatable, right?
Yeah.
I still think it could be handled. I mean, I get it. I get if you're a highly emotional person,
Yeah, that's what he is.
and I understand that that position, you have to have that me aspect to it because, I mean, you're running almost like what, 2, 3 kilometers a game,
Every
right?
game. Yeah.
And you only see the ball come to you maybe 5, 6 times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
After all running. So it gets frustrating when you know you got to play, you can make a play, and the ball isn't there for you to in order to do that,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
right? Again, that comes with the territory. That comes
It
with the
does. It
position.
does. It
You're a
does.
professional. You've been playing what, 7, 8 seasons now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You should know that's how it is. Not to say that you should just be accepting of it, right? But there's a certain level of decorum that you got to have to be able to communicate to your quarterback. You don't know what that quarterback going through. You don't
Yeah. That's true.
understand the reads that he have to go through before he gets you. You may not have been the first read.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
may
That's
not have been the first read. He
yeah.
got to look here. He got to look here. Then he got to see you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then on top of that, you got to negotiate wherever the pressure's coming from and all these other different things. Like there's a lot that's going on with that quarterback situation. You can't just say, "Hey, man, I'm open."
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Why about, hey, did something happen on the play why I didn't get the ball? Like,
Right. Right.
have a conversation, you know? So that being said, I think that's part of what that level, that emotional intelligence, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
And again, not calling anyone stupid or dumb, not like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
like level of having some sort of EQ that you need to be able to exude, especially when you're at that level of professionalism in these sports,
Yeah.
so that you can be a proper communicator, especially when things get intense in these crucial games, so that you're not disrupting
Mm. I
going
got
on
you. I
in
got you.
real time.
Yeah.
My concern is he has a propensity to
Mm.
disrupt
Yeah. Yeah.
the wrong
At
times.
the wrong time. I got you. I got you. That makes sense. Because and you saying that also, me as a person, I've even said this before. I wouldn't handle it like that. I wouldn't handle it because not only do I know cameras on you 24/7, right? And people are going to take, I would wait until we get in the locker room. I would wait until there's no cameras around. We one on one, we are on the phone, or we talking, or we, whatever it is. And I would say, bro, let's go through this. Let's break this down. Tell me what you was going through, and here's what I'm going through, and let's try to figure this out. Let's see what the deal is. Like you said, quarterbacks have so many things going on, and to your point, he was not the number one option on that pass. And so, yes, a lot of things are going on, and I do agree with that. Me as a person, I wouldn't show like any of this blow up emotion,
Right.
like that on TV and out in the game. I would definitely do that in the locker room behind the scenes, after the game or something like that. So definitely that's the fair point.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, but all that being said,
yeah,
points you made about them possibly being that number one. I mean, again, it is debatable.
it's
It
debatable.
is debatable. Devontae Smith and T. Higgins, I'm not going to say unequivocally he's better,
Yeah,
but it's debatable. Like you can see where in a certain situation with a certain quarterback, Devontae Adams could put up number one receiver numbers. But the same could be said about T. Higgins.
yeah.
Same could be said about T. Higgins. So maybe it's a 1A, 1B type of situation with those two.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, that was good. Good. I think that kind of straightened that list out a little bit. Again, it's always debatable. It's always debatable. So it just depends. So anyway, I know you had something you wanted to
I don't know if I want now. I don't know if I want to get into this. This
you want
this
to get into it.
this is a little gossipy, right? But I don't know. I saw this interesting article on Athlon Sports with the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
So they had released Kyle Jasicki, their fullback, and just recently they resigned him. There was a situation, so there was like a 1 day gap, 1 or 2 days
Right.
release when you didn't know he was coming back or not.
Right. Yep.
Come to find out, there seems to be some sort of player wives slash player girlfriend issue that's going on. They saying with the 49ers that's contributing to locker room wars within the team, which I
Stop.
find
Stop
this
it.
is fascinating, man.
Stop it.
So the article says 49er wives rumored to be source of locker room war,
What?
right? So what happened? I'm not going to read the article verbatim. I'm gonna just give
Right.
you a synopsis, right? So when when Jasicki got released,
Yeah.
Fred Warner's wife put up an Instagram post of sipping tea, saying this is the best day.
Stop it, man.
Yeah, man, this is
Stop
the
it. No, come on.
yeah, man. Like she was glow. Now she didn't directly target and say, "Hey, it's about Jasicki," but everyone
Right.
was speculating based on the timing of it. When
Right.
you sipping tea, and then they said there's some sort of history with between her and Jasicki's wife, who else? Christian McCaffrey's wife, and another player. Oh, Kerry Kittle's wife.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
So some kind of internal, wives war going on,
Stop
and
it.
of course, the husband's got to hear about it, right? And so now, because the wives haven't, they had odds with each other,
Yeah.
some way, it's kind of they said it's, and this is all speculation, right? We don't know
Right.
if it's true or not, but
Yeah.
it's enough of a story for them to write about it.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? And so, this is what it said. It said Warner's wife said this is the happiest of Mondays. This is the day when he got released. Yeah, I'm like, as a Ryan fan, I'm loving it. Like anything that'll help disrupt that team,
Yeah.
winning a team in some sort of chaos and disorder.
Yeah.
I want that. Keep that. But it reminds me of this show that used to come on back in the day that my wife used to watch called The Game, where it chronicalized the wife and girlfriend side of the football players' lives.
Right.
It goes right into that, man, because everything they say in here kind of mirrors that show.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Look here.
I've never seen anything like this. You're
Man,
written.
look here. If I'm telling you, if I was the player and that was my wife, I was gonna tell her shut this down. Shut this down. I don't go on social media posting nothing. Don't go on social media posting nothing. I don't care. You could go post about your teas and your coffees and your stuff and all that stuff what you do, but don't post nothing. I don't care. Players just stay out of it. That's what I was going to tell my wife. Stay out of it because it's,
You can tell them that all you want.
but they still going to go there. Oh man, that's crazy, man. That's some serious drama. Hey, that, like you said, you want them to stay in drama. That's sort of like how I would want Dallas to stay in drama. I definitely want him to stay in drama. I saw something similar to where DeMarcus Lawrence had left Dallas, and he said, and then him and Micah Parsons got into it, where Micah Parsons was saying something, and then no, DeMarcus Lawrence was saying, you got to leave Dallas in order to win a championship, and then Micah Parsons was telling him, get out of here, you clown, you're a clown. And then he was like, "Well, if you stay off of Twitter and you stay off of your podcast, then maybe you could win a Super Bowl." So they going at it, in Dallas.
So I saw that.
Yeah,
DeMarcus Lawrence said something along the lines of, "I wasn't winning any Super Bowl in Dallas."
that's right, right.
He ain't telling no lies. I mean, everything he said was the truth.
Absolute truth.
Everything he said was the truth,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And his rebuff back to Micah Parsons, like, okay, Micah Parsons, we all know, again, another phenomenal player, has
yes.
career. One could easily debate,
Mhm.
if you spend less time talking and more time preparing, like how much better you could possibly be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's debatable, right?
Yeah.
So with DeMarcus Lawrence saying that, like, I don't see any untruths in his statement.
Man, I agree with him.
They say when it comes to Micah Parsons, they say a hit dog holler, right? So he said something, and Parsons
Struck a nerve.
need to.
That's right.
Obviously, it struck a chord.
Yeah. And I think, while players have podcasts and stuff that's going on and stuff, I know they got other revenue sources with these podcasts and stuff going on. I don't know, man. During the season,
That's the part I don't understand. That's the
you
part.
gotta be focused, bro. I mean, to put that in the off season. I don't have no time to be on no podcast and doing all this stuff, and I'm in the regular season.
I remember Tom Brady saying, and I understand, like, I was going to say I haven't seen any quarterbacks do this, but I think Stafford had a little bit of a podcast going on. Not as intense as these guys, but I think he was doing a little bit of something too.
Yeah.
Brady was like, I don't have time for none of that. He said every week he's dissecting the other team.
Yes.
He's trying to figure out all of their tendencies, their weaknesses, exploit it. He didn't have time for nothing else.
No, man.
So I'm looking at these guys like, dude, like, again, I understand you're supremely athletic. Your athleticism took you here, got you here.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're going to have to level up. And that level up comes mentally to where you start using your mind in tandem with your athleticism so that you can give yourself more of an edge to win these games.
Yeah.
You can figure out just any little bit of a tendency that the other team is given for you to be able to exploit so that you can get to that quarterback faster, so you can stop that running back in the backfield, right? Get a tackle for loss, so you can pick off that screen because based off the way the quarterback rubs his shoulder or the way he looks or a particular cadence that he gives, that is going to be a screen. Like, that comes through intense studying, man.
Absolutely.
As great as Ray Lewis was, that man studied. Like, he was looking at film 24/7. That's why he was as great as he was. And it isn't just because he was athletic and was always in the weight room. That dude knew the tendencies of the opponent.
Yes.
These guys, they don't have. I don't think they have that level of discipline, man.
No. And you speak about the Ravens. Same thing with Ed Reed. As a safety. These guys was just on another level when it come to attention to detail, man. I mean, even Bill Belichick said that whenever they played the Ravens, he was like, I have these guys, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed was so smart. We had to do things to try and take them out, but it's like stuff didn't even work because they already knew it.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I think these guys are definitely in this day and age with all these podcasts and stuff like that, they losing an edge. They losing a big edge when you totally not focused. And then on top of that, you talk about, you have a family, you get and all this other stuff that you got to deal with. And on top of that, you got a podcast. No, man.
Yeah. But I mean, it's easier for them because I mean they already have a following, right? You have people who are already
Yeah,
going to be naturally interested in what they're
right.
saying, so their podcasts don't even have to be that great, right? They just got to
That
go
is
up
true. That
and
is true.
talk, right? But
That is true.
but I mean, but for the most part, again, even if you're just up there spending an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be,
Mm,
talking
right.
every other day, to me, I mean, that could be an hour, 2 hours. You could
That is
be
film.
in the film, right?
Yeah.
Working out, doing something.
Something.
I'm not a professional athlete. I can't even pretend to even understand what they go through.
Yeah.
I understand that there are, you know, they have their own lives.
Right.
It
Yeah.
isn't just about football. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying when you open up yourself to this type of stuff, this is the level of criticism you're going to get,
Yeah.
whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
What it is. So when you have these mediums and you start talking about these other teams and all these other different things that has really nothing to do with your team,
That's right.
right?
Who
Time to time,
cares? That's right.
and you're not winning,
Exactly.
right? Then people are going to start to speculate, like, well, what you doing?
Exactly. Go win.
I can see if you winning. I can see if
Yeah.
like you go on the playoffs games and you
Right.
on the for winning Super Bowls or winning Super Bowls and be like, man, do your thing, man.
Right. 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 This is
But you ain't winning.
that's right. And not to cut you off, but this is a good point. Who do you see right now that's winning that has a podcast?
The Kelsey brothers, they were doing the podcast while they were winning, right?
That was bothering me too. That was bothering me. He had to retire because that
Yeah,
was
but
bothering me.
but one would say last year Travis it probably caught up with him
It
because
caught up with him. It caught up with him.
he didn't have a pretty good year last
Look
year.
at
And
it,
yeah,
man.
we know he got older, but still he still didn't look like he was as
He
prepared.
wasn't prepared. He
Hmm.
wasn't prepared.
Yeah,
You could see he took an off year.
yeah,
He wasn't prepared.
yeah.
So stay on the podcast.
He was on that Eras tour too. So he yeah. Yeah,
Stay
too
on
much
the stay.
going on, man.
Yeah, yeah. Stay on the tours and stay on your podcast, man. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. So this was good. Good episode, man. And definitely gonna jump back on again
yep.
and talk about some more.
All right, man. See you on
All
the
right.
other side. Later.
Peace.